Hello class, we're going to continue to learn about some advanced what I call advanced features in Illustrator by continuing to work with the ground. We looked at some effects and things like this, and we looked at how to change those effects by using the appearances box. So if I select this grass, we can see, and I open up my appearances, I can see I have some grain and some angled stroke, which are both Photoshop effects, onto this green color, which is pretty good. But another really interesting feature about this appearance dialog box, which can be used for a whole host of ways, way more interesting stuff that I'm going to show in this video, is that you can continue to add strokes and fills, and you can have many more, and that can lead to lots and lots of different choices of effects. But I'm just going to show one example where I'm going to add a darker green edge to sort of just give a little bit of interest to this drawing, I guess, and set up another effect I'm going to show you in the next video as well. So I'm going to show you how it's done, but it can be used for many different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and select my fill. I'm going to make a new fill. And you simply do that by selecting the object, selecting the fill, and then hitting the new the post-it note, as it were, and it just duplicates it. So I've got a green fill on top of a green fill. I'm actually going to stop that. In fact, I think I'm going to just eyeball off the angled stroke for now, just to save some time, and I'll eyeball it back in at the end of this demonstration. So we can see I could go ahead and change this to any color I want. Just for demonstration purposes. Obviously I don't want a red ground, but I could, and there we go. And it's really just blocking out the green ground. If I eyeball it off, we'll see the green below it. Each of these have their own transparency, so I could make this partially transparent, say 50% transparent, and now that is a combination of that red and that green to show that sort of muted maroon sort of color there. For now I'm going to go, I will probably change its opacity. I'm going to, not 0 is going to show nothing. It's going to do 100%. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this color for the effect that I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to change it to white. And what I'm going to do is I want to apply an inner glow onto this white thing, but I don't want to apply it to this. So right now, because of where grain and angled strokes are at the bottom of the list, it's applying it to everything. So if I turn this on, even if I zoom in, we can see the grain is being applied to the white area, as well as the green if I were to click it off. But I can apply effects within these zones so that they only affect one fill or the other, or one stroke, which I currently have set, or okay. So as long as I have this fill set, I'm going to apply the inner glow effect, and it's only going to apply it to the white area, and I'll show you why here in a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to normal. I already did this as a test, so it's already set to normal. Yours won't be. And I'm going to pick a dark green color right there. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to hit preview, and you're going to see what happens is I'm going to get this green inner glow around there. Now I've put my blur up to 1.2. It's going to actually default to a lot lower, so if you're trying to do the same thing, you just up and down this number will change the size of that. And I'm going to say OK. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and I'm going to again select this object. I'm going to select this guy, and under opacity I'm just going to change the blending mode to multiply. If you remember, I've mentioned this before, but multiply basically makes white things transparent and dark things much less transparent. So what happens is now the white fades away to their original green that I had, and the dark green basically stays. It was dark, so it wasn't changed much because of multiply, and I can sort of see this glowing edge onto that. Now I could have glowed in, I could have just done an inner glow on the original green, right? So if this is where I want to end, that would have been the easier way of going about it. However, if let's say I want to make a change to this that I also want to add, and I'm just sort of making things up a little bit here. Let's say I also want to add on this upper area, I want to add some other stroke on top of it, or other effect on top of it. So maybe I'll go to artistic, and I'll try, let's go with paint daubs. Where's paint daubs? Here we go. And so if I only want the paint daubs effect to be applied to this area here, actually, see, I don't have grain. I'll have to do grain first. Right, so let me cancel out of this. Let me add this, having this edge some of its own grain here. Style, texture, grain. Got some grain, and now I should be able to paint daub this thing. Ah, hit the wrong button. Anyway, it'll still come up. It'll work. Just take me in one more step. So I'm gonna go to artistic, paint daub. We'll see. So it gives it more of a splotchy feel. I can change the size and sharpness. I'm gonna keep the sharpness low. But maybe I'll do that around there. I'll run through. And so what this allows me to do is have paint daubs on this glowing edge, but not basically on the internal edge. Although once, because of the grain, I do have some effect going there, but it sort of allows me to offset that by doing it this way, and I can put on angled strokes, and it'll sort of come back. Here, so it'll take a minute. But the interesting thing again is it doing something interesting in glass? Yeah, a little bit. I might want to take the transparency of that level, which actually is an easy way to control it. But this tool is so useful for so many other things than what I'm actually doing it right here in this video. So here we go. I think it's almost done. There we go. Right, I'm going to just do one more thing. I'm going to change the opacity of this down to like 60%. It's probably going to take a minute to rerun through all of this, but we'll see what it looks like. This should be going, even though I'm not seeing any progress. I think it's still going. You can certainly just jump ahead to the end of the video to see the result of this, but you already have learned all the basic concepts, so you should be good to go. I'm gonna follow up this video with another tool, compound path, just to show another change on it. There we go. Yeah, just a nice little subtle effect on the edges there. The reality is, with such a high transparency, those paint daubs I put on there probably don't matter much, but you know, it was something to do. So with that, I'll end this video. I'll come back with compound bath and a few other things just to show some more tricks, but you're well on your way. Do what you want.